Hi everybody, welcome back to Honeysuckle Homestead Retreat. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about why I switched from my BMW 3 Series to my Subaru Outback. If you're new to my channel, my name is Desiree, and basically I live and work in Atlanta, but I have a tiny house up in the Appalachian Mountains where I'm slowly starting an off-grid farm. Okay, so some of you may be asking why I switched out my vehicles. I used to have a BMW 330e plug-in hybrid, which I absolutely loved. I really did love my BMW. I had never owned a Beamer before, and it was super nice. I drove and handled really well. The brakes were really good on it. It looked good. It was a great car. I loved my BMW. However, my BMW does not do so well up on the Homestead. So it got stuck in the mud a few times. One time it actually got mud in the muffler, and I had to clean it out. And I'm really glad I happened to notice it, because otherwise that would have been really, really bad. The mud had like caked in there, and it had gotten really hard. So like the exhaust wouldn't have been able to escape, and I don't even want to know what would have happened, but I'm glad I noticed it, and I got it cleaned out before I even drove my car. So my BMW was a bit low to the ground, so it was easy for it to get stuck in the mud, or to get mud in places that you didn't want mud to be. And up there in the mountains, out in the country, I definitely was in situations where I would be driving down a dirt road or a muddy road. And then I also would take my car out into my pasture close to where my barn was, but I couldn't get very far with my BMW, especially if the grass was wet. If it was wet, I mean, my tires would just spin. I got stuck in the mud and in my pasture a few times, and a lot of the times my neighbor would have to come and help me get out. So that was one of the concerns. The other concern I had about my BMW was it wouldn't handle very well in the rain. So if I was going on a long distance drive and it was raining, if it was like a heavy downpour, I would literally just pull off to the side of the road. Or a gas station. Not really the side of the road. That's not a very safe spot. But I would pull off at a gas station or somewhere else, and I would just sit and wait for the main part of the storm to pass, because my car just did not handle very well on the road if it was wet. And that partly could have been because of the kind of tires that I had on the car. Maybe I could have changed out the tires. I don't know. But I didn't want to go through the trouble of that. So that was another negative to my BMW. The other negative I had was I didn't have a whole lot of space in that car. So being a sedan type vehicle, I had a trunk, but the trunk could only hold so much. To take my dogs with me up to the mountains and try to carry a whole bunch of stuff with me was nearly impossible. Like, there wasn't much I could fit in the trunk, and then the whole back seat, for the most part, was taken up by my dogs. So that was one of the biggest negatives of having my BMW. One other negative about the BMW: if anything breaks on the BMW, it is so expensive to fix. And not only that, but in today's world, it's really hard to get parts. And so I wasn't even sure if something were to break on my BMW, if I could even get it fixed. Something did break, and I did get it fixed, and it only took a week, which wasn't that bad for me to be without a car for a week. But the gentleman at the BMW dealership told me that there was another guy where he had to get something fixed, and they couldn't get the parts in, and he was without a car for months. I will say I will miss the sportiness of the BMW, and I will also miss being able to plug it in and charge it up. Now, granted, the charge would only last about 14 miles, but that was enough for me to get to work and back. And I had a charging station at work that I could charge at. And also at my gym, there was a charging station and it was totally free to charge at the gym because I got free parking at that parking deck because my gym was there, and they didn't charge anything for the charging stations. So I will miss that, having free fuel, so to speak, especially in today's world where gas prices are just astronomical. I did just load up my car with $3.34 a gallon of gas, which was amazing. Mostly in Atlanta, it's about $4. That would be about the average, $4 a gallon. Which I know isn't nearly as bad as it is in some parts of the country or the world. If you don't have the app Gas Buddy, you should totally download it. That's how I found out about the low price gas. But anyway, getting back to the vehicles. So I wanted to get a vehicle that was reliable and not too expensive to fix and handled well in rain and snow, mountainous terrain, mud, and definitely preferred like an all-wheel drive type of vehicle. And so hence the Subaru Outback. It was actually recommended to me by a friend of mine. When I was telling him, I was like, I need a different type of vehicle. Like, I love my BMW, but I need something that will fit me and my lifestyle. And he was the one that recommended it. And thank you very much, Wes, for recommending Subaru Outback. I have loved it so far. So I ended up going with a 2016 Subaru Outback that had about 69,000 miles on it. And so far it's been great. I average about 31 miles to the gallon when I'm on the highway, which is just incredible because I'm always on the highway. And that saves me a lot in gas for sure. But there are lots of things that I love about this car. One is the space. I have a ton of space. I can load up so much stuff in this car and have my dogs in the back seat as well. The other thing I love besides the gas mileage is I don't get stuck in the mud anymore. I have a sunroof now. I never had a sunroof ever in any of my vehicles. And it's just one of those little things that makes me happy. The seats are heated, or can be heated. You can just like hit a button and turn it on. And the back seats are heated too. So in the wintertime, my dogs are absolutely going to love that. Some cool things about this car is with cruise control, it has automatic spacing for the vehicle in front of me. So if I set it to cruise control and the vehicle in front of me slows down, my car will slow down too. I'm sure lots of newer cars have this now. My BMW did not have that. My BMW also did not have heated seats. So in addition to that, it also has lane assist, so it'll tell me if I'm veering outside of any of the lanes. That's really nice. And then another real cool feature that I like, if I'm in stop and go traffic, let's say in the city, and I'm stopped at, let's say, a traffic light and there's a car in front of me, this car will let me know when the car in front of me has moved forward, which is great because, you know, when you're stopped at a traffic light in the city, a lot of times you're doing some other things, like maybe glancing at your phone while you're stopped at a traffic light. So it's nice to know, like, hey, car in front of you moved, instead of having the car behind you honk at you. This car also has towing capabilities. It could tow a lightweight trailer, I think up to 2,700 pounds. So that's really cool. My car that I got does not have a hitch on it, but it's nice to know that in the future, if I wanted to, I could have a hitch installed, and it does have that towing capacity. Now, that's not enough for me to tow a horse trailer, unfortunately, so I still got to get a truck. In the meantime, this vehicle is really, really great for the Homestead just because I can put so much in it, and it gets great gas mileage, and it's all-wheel drive, won't get stuck in the mud, does really well in the mountains. I can't think of a better vehicle for what I'm doing at this point in time. Now, if I fold those seats back, if I don't have the dogs in the car and I fold the seats back, it's almost big enough, not quite, but almost big enough to fit a whole sheet of plywood back there, which is a lot of space. So that's fantastic for me. Like, if I need to go to Lowe's, I can now pick up my own wood within reason, you know, not super long pieces. And I don't have to have Home Depot deliver to me, which is nice. So I would save like a $75 delivery fee. The other cool thing I like about it is, in addition to the space that I have in the back, there's also rails on top, like, you know, so you can put cargo up on top. And I already have a cargo bag, so I'm very excited about my next trip up to the mountains, because I'm planning on moving a lot of stuff up into storage up there, and I am definitely going to be making use of that cargo space on top of my roof. The other thing about this vehicle compared to my BMW, I had to put mid-grade gasoline into my tank. I couldn't just put your lowest grade gasoline into it like you do with most cars. And so I'm also saving money on gasoline now, because I can put just your regular 89 octane unleaded gasoline into this vehicle. So that's really awesome to go back to that. I mean, that's what I've always used, but when I had the BMW, I was doing my best to like keep it as tuned up as possible and running as good as possible so it wouldn't break. So yeah, I'm really glad that I traded it out when I did. I loved the car, but you know, honestly, even though this car, I wouldn't consider it sporty, it fits me way better than the BMW did. The BMW was a great city car, but this car is my Homestead car, and it's more the direction that I'm going in, so it fits me a lot better, and I'm very, very happy with my purchase. There's a part of me that wishes I had a newer model, like a brand new Subaru Outback, but car prices right now are absolutely ridiculous, and it's hard to get a brand new car right now. So it would have taken me months to get a brand new Subaru Outback, compared to like just going off the lot with a vehicle. So I'm really glad that I bought used. I usually do buy used, but every once in a while I kind of wish I had a brand new vehicle. But to be honest, like this car, it's used, but it is in excellent condition. I am very happy with this purchase. That's pretty much wraps up my thoughts on my Subaru Outback, why I switched from a BMW to a Subaru. These are things that you have to consider if you're going to be having a Homestead. So I could load up like a bunch of chickens in the back if I wanted to, in cages, granted, which you've seen me transport a rooster. So if you missed that episode, click on the link right up here, and you will see how I transported a rooster in my Subaru Outback. But yeah, you could fit like chickens back here. I could fit a goat back there if I wanted to, or two goats, especially if they were little kid goats. Like, there are so many possibilities with this car that I never ever had with my BMW. So when you're thinking about a vehicle for your homestead, you got to think about what do I need done, and what vehicle will do it best. Now, lots of people will say, well, you should have just got a truck. Lots of people have told me that. I'm aware I need a truck. I know I need a truck. And yes, a truck can do all those things that I just mentioned. But trucks are not good on gas mileage. And that's important to me. And I also like the comfort of a car. Now, I know some trucks are very comfortable, especially the newer models. But what I would like, this is how I want to do things. I would like to have a car for everyday travel, and also for me traveling long distances. So for me to go from Atlanta up to the mountains, it's important to me that the gas mileage is good. So as long as I'm living in Atlanta and then traveling up to the mountains, I would like to have a car for that. And I really, honestly, I want a car for everyday traveling. The truck, I want to have a truck just for hauling a horse trailer and my horse, or horses, hopefully in the future. or for hauling other things that need to be hauled. In my mind, I do more everyday traveling and long distance traveling than I do where I would be required to haul or do stuff that I would need a truck for. So it makes more sense to me that I get a vehicle like the Subaru Outback that can handle all the jobs that I need done and save on gas. But yes, a truck is definitely in the cards for the future. All right, that is pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of give a little rundown of why I switched out my little sporty BMW for a Subaru Outback and why I love this car so much, and I'm glad I made the switch. I will miss things about my BMW, but not as much as I appreciate the things about having the Subaru Outback. So yeah, that about sums everything up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and please don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I release a new video, which I am working at doing once a week, every early Sunday morning. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you again so much to all of my subscribers. You are appreciated. Bye for now.